walked the cuss was taking my gloves off. I said, what do you think? He said, it's a heavyweight champion of the world.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Berbick is down. And he's down again and in serious trouble.
He cannot control his temper.
Mrs. Tyson did not want to sign a domestic violence complaint.
He was a womanizer. There's no other way to describe him. He loved women, and women loved him.
And I think that Mike Tyson is unjustly incarcerated. I think in Mike Tyson's particular case, the due process was derailed. We got to put it back on track again.
I was asked, after 3 years in prison, can Mike Tyson beat Lennox Lewis? And I said, Mike Tyson can beat Lennox Lewis after 3 minutes in the electric chair.
And I still believe I'm the best fighter in the world.
Michael Gerard Tyson was born into crushing poverty on June 30th, 1966. Tyson doesn't like to talk about his early days on the streets of a Brooklyn ghetto. There are no pictures of his mother, Lorna, but Michael was the third child in the family fathered by Jimmy Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick never married Lorna Tyson, so it was her last name that he was given. The Tysons, close to destitute, lived in Brownsville, one of Brooklyn's toughest neighborhoods. Kirkpatrick abandoned the family before Mike's second birthday. And some would say Tyson spent most of his first 25 years searching for a father figure to replace him. Young Mike was physically huge, but he had a sensitive nature, a high-pitched voice, and a lisp. The other children in the neighborhood picked on him mercilessly, taunting him with the name Big Head Mike. Friends say Tyson probably started fighting on the street as a matter of self-preservation as much as anything else. Perhaps it was for food and money to survive. Perhaps it was rage born out of the teasing and taunting he'd endured. Tyson turned to muggings and robberies and would be arrested several times before the age of 12.
Mike says when he was 9 years old, he was hanging out with kids 13, 14 years old because he was physically their size, but mentally, he wasn't there.
He talked a lot about, seemingly unashamedly, about some of the bad things he did, mugging old ladies and doing, pulling off these mugging incidents, and as if, this is me and this was part of me, and take it for what it's worth.
Tyson was in and out of reformatories, winding up in the Tryon School for Boys in upstate Johnstown, New York. Tyson had already decided he wanted to be a boxer and asked to see a staff member named Bobby Stewart, who'd been a professional and who taught at the facility. Stewart told the 12-year-old if he wanted to box, he'd have to straighten out. The words changed Tyson's life forever.
I remember him the first time I saw him, they were marching, two of the biggest staff on campus were marching him through from their place to ours. They said, he's coming. We had to put him in a holding room, lock-up room. And they said, Stewie, to me, they said, he's bad. He's uncontrollable, fighting, everything doesn't go his way. He said, Mr. Stewart, he said, I want to become a fighter. And I said, yeah, so are the rest of you guys. I said, but if you look, it takes you gotta be a fighter, you gotta be tough, disciplined. He said, you obviously aren't, or you wouldn't be here in the first place. And I said, I'll work with you. I said, if your behavior continues, one slip, I said, and you're done. I'm not gonna spend my time. So it was just remarkable. I told him when you go to school, I said, I don't care if you flunk every subject, but you behave. You behave, you don't act out, and you try.
For 12-year-old Mike Tyson, perfecting the moves he learned from Stewart became an obsession. Long after lights out in the reform school, guards would hear Tyson grunting as he practiced into the night in the dark in his room. Perfecting technique became Tyson's obsession, and it didn't stop when he left Tryon, as Stewart found out when they went back into the ring.
He hit me with a jab. I'd never been hit. I'd never been hit with a jab like that ever. And it rocked me, but I couldn't let him know. I grabbed him and tied him up. And so I acted like nothing went on. Boom, hit me again. Again, I tied him. I don't think he knew, because I wouldn't let on. If I let on, I couldn't let him overtake the staff.
Bobby Stewart had trained in a small gym above the police station in the tiny town of Catskill, New York, learning his boxing from a veteran teacher named Cus D'Amato. D'Amato had also coached 2 world champions, Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. So when Stewart's pupil Mike Tyson showed real promise, it was only natural that he would bring Tyson to D'Amato for a tryout. In 1979, the young Mike Tyson first climbed into this ring, and with D'Amato looking on, began to spar with Stewart.
He was 27 years old, Stewart, and a former professional fighter. So obviously someone who should handle a 12-year-old kid. And Tyson showed extraordinary power and forced Stewart to open up to a point just to keep him in his place.
You know, we always won 3 rounds. And after the second round, he was forcing me, you know, pushing me into the corner and stuff. I popped him. It wasn't really that hard, but it made his nose bleed and spread.
He got a bloody nose, and after the second round, I told him I had seen enough.
And Mike said, we never stop after 2 rounds. We always go 3 rounds. And I saw Cus look over at one of the old timers he was with, and I said, boy, I got his attention already. We went to the 3rd round. He was as good as ever. And right there, I walked over to him, and I walked to Cus. Cus was taking my gloves off. And I said, what do you think? He said,